start my next video going over what is codependency. So I've been, posting videos regarding domestic violence and kind of getting on that route so I can hopefully help someone to feel secure and independent and strong enough to get out of whatever situation it is that they're dealing with in a relationship factor, codependency, addiction, domestic violence, low self-esteem, things like that. So, codependency basically is usually, but not always, results and referred to is when a person is exposed to a dysfunctional family pattern, but also a person from a functional family pattern can be codependent because of their life circumstances, a loss of job, other transitions that they are going through. Anyone affected by a relationship with codependency is the person who is dependent, abusive, as well as physically or mentally unstable. There are those who are addicted and those who are afflicted. Now, codependents are people who have been afflicted by being in a relationship with a dysfunctional individual, whether it be the parent of your children, a significant other, a boyfriend, a family member of any sort. So codependents have an imbalanced sense of responsibility to rescue, to fix, to help people who usually don't want help at all. Now, so the key concept of that is the learned habits of a dysfunctional system can become the roots of a condition, which is called codependency. We, in this, will define codependency as a compulsion to control and rescue people by fixing their problems. It occurs when a person's love and security are not met. So compulsion, it's an obsessive, irresistible driving urge. So in relationships, it's very important to set boundaries, not only for your relationship as a whole, but for you as an individual, to have your own boundaries, and those are healthy boundaries. Everybody needs to adapt healthy boundaries because you don't want someone to cross that line, because once that line of negative boundaries becomes crossed and you start building those negative behaviors, it's going to lead to a toxic relationship. It could lead to codependency. It could lead to addiction. And that's something that you want to be aware of and stray from, because you don't want to go down that path. It's a very, very hard path to get yourself out of. Now, boundaries are important, especially in the recovery process, because it means the invisible fences, and fences that they can't cross. Now, good boundaries are like screen doors. They allow fresh air in, but they keep the bugs out. Just a cute little term there for you. Now, having codependency, there are 3 core perceptions and behaviors that lead to emotional results. And the core systems are a lack of objectivity, sense of responsibility, and being controlled or controlling others. Now, A lack of objectivity is the inability to see things that are really there. Our views of ourselves and others makes it difficult to see reality for what it is in a clear and unbiased way. Now, the past hurts, they keep wrapping and warping our view of the present and the future. Now, a warped sense of responsibility means that we don't have good boundaries, relationship boundaries, individual boundaries. So those are something that you want to develop. That way you're not having an alternate sense of reality for your present and your future self, your present and your future relationships. Now, there is a term considered master control artists, and those are one of the best descriptions of codependency. It's controlling is a lousy way to build loving relationships. We let ourselves in for a huge amount of rejection, and the rejection fuels the loneliness, and the cycle continues. Now, there are 4 emotional results dealing with codependency, and that is anger, hurt, guilt, and loneliness. And these are characteristics that everybody stems through in a relationship. So you want to adapt those healthy boundaries and set them for yourself so that you are not feeling those emotions of being lonely, being guilty, whether you did something directly or indirectly. Now, in this list that I have here, it's kind of things that codependents feel, and there's probably about 14 of them, and out of the 14 I have 12 circled that apply to me. So I'm going to go ahead and read these 14 off to you, and it's to feel responsible for others' behaviors, the need to be needed, expect others to make us happy. One can be demanding or indecisive. One can be attentive and caring, or selfish and cruel. You see people in situations as a wonderful or awful, so you go from one extreme to the other. You seek affirmation and attention, or sulk. You believe that you are perceptive, but you often can't see the reality in your own life. See others as being for us or against us. Use self-pity and or anger to manipulate others. You feel like you must rescue people from themselves. Communicate contrasting themselves, like I need you, I hate you, I love you. Don't say what we mean and don't mean what we say. Repent deeply but commit the same pattern over and over and over again. So that's like constantly saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. But then after you apologize, you just do the same thing over and over and over again. So those are characteristics that one can define themselves as to initially begin the process of moving forward with their recovery. The key concept for that today is the learned habits of a dysfunctional system become the pattern of thinking, learning, and acting for codependence. So And that is my segment for today. Stay tuned for my next one, and we'll go into depth of how it begins to work, because discovery is not recovery, and that is going to be where recovery occurs by doing the necessary growth work with a support group. So just know that you guys are not alone. You're very strong. You're beautiful inside and out. You need to be secure with yourself, because nobody can take your self-worth away from you, regardless of what they say to you, regardless of the physical abuse or trauma that they endure. You deserve better, and you can get out of this. You can have a better life, and that person who's doing those things to you is not your better life. So have a good day, guys. Thanks.